Hi, I'm Brian Palmer, and this is Scribi Writer Studio. I'm going to do a really quick tutorial video here. This is just about the import system, and in this process, we're going to go ahead and make a couple of other catalog items as well, so I can show you how all of that works. So we're going to click here, Import Book. Now you can do a single import or a bulk import. They work pretty much the same way. Bulk import just shows you more information about multiple books. So we're going to start with a single book, and we're just going to hit the upload. You can also drag and drop a book onto that spot as well. I've got a book from Simon Strange here, and it's going to grab automatically the title from the actual file itself. And now, as you can see, Simon Strange isn't already over here, so we're just going to create that in line. Just like that. There is no real story world for this series, but there was a series, so we're going to create a new series, Sheltered. This is the first book in the series, but if you've already got books in there, this little drop-down menu here will let you pick basically where the imported book comes to. When you do a bulk import like that, it's going to give you a list of books, and then you can just position them to import in whatever order you need. Down here, there's a couple of things that have happened. First of all, it's let us know that it's a 90,000 word book. That's about right. It's going to ask if I wanted to split into scenes. I have a couple of split scenes in the book, so I'm going to click there. For the most part, what this is doing is it's looking for breaks in the HTML, so it's going to look for things like an empty paragraph or a scene break marker or something like that. So if you want your manuscript, once it gets built in Scribi, if you want to see that it's got a chapter with scene 1, scene 2, that sort of thing, click this right here. If not, it's just going to put them all in, all the individual like chunks of text. They're all going to go into the same chapter document, so that really just depends on how you want to work. Now, the description I'm going to leave off, but this would be basically the same text that you would put on the Amazon sales page or something like that, right? It doesn't usually get included with the book itself, and so there's nothing to really read and put in here. The book status ready. This one is actually already published, but because of how Scribi tracks these things, I'm going to say ready until I re-export it from Scribi with all of the appropriate front and back matter that's generated here in the app. So the next thing here, we got a tab is structure. These are just some warnings to let you know here's how the system works. It's going to tell us here any non-text page, so cover page, title page, there's a couple of different decorative pages, things like that. Any page that's like a full page image, for example, that's going to get skipped here. And I'll show you, there's another tab up here where a lot of that stuff goes. So right here, what we see is it uses chapter title and chapter subtitle. So not every book is going to get these, but basically what it's doing is it's trying to read out of the HTML, how are the chapters organized. So with these, I put a point of view in each of the chapters. But that's not really necessary as a subheading or a heading. Really, what I've got here is just chapter 1, chapter 2, and so on. So I'm going to choose none for both of these, and that is because I am able to assign point of view in the actual editor itself, and then it'll generate this heading on its own. So it's going to say that there just because that's how the chapters are labeled in the book. You can see right here where it's telling me that there were 3 scene breaks in chapter 5, for example. This right here, this little icon is going to tell you how many actual individual scenes were broken up for that specific chapter, right? So once you've got that structure sorted out, you're going to click the boxes for things that you do want to import, and then unclick boxes for things that you don't, right? So like this right here, this is back matter. I don't need to include that in the manuscript. Scribi will generate that back matter for me when I get the export all set up. And then finally, images. So this is going to take every image that came in the book itself. In this case, there's a couple of social icons. I don't really need those. A little bit Sheltered is the second book in this series. So I'm going to save that to disk. And then this is the logo for this pen name. I'm actually going to take that and I'm going to stick it on the author photo, because I don't usually use an author photo for Simon Strange. Usually I just use the logo. And then caching the chip was a sort of extra thing from the newsletter, so I am going to save that to disk. And what this is going to do is basically all of these images, anything that you don't ignore, if you save to disk, it's going to use your standard export path. If you don't have one yet, if you haven't exported a book, then it's going to show a pop-up that asks you to basically tell Scribi where you want to save these things. And then it's going to stick those in there under an images folder so that you've got access to them. And then you can import them and put them wherever you need to. So that is pretty much all that it takes to import a single book. So we're going to hit import, confirm, and it's going to take us right to the book page. And now all of this, if we click over here, I won't click around too much because I don't want to get banned off of YouTube. but as you can see, it imports cleanly right into the manuscript. Everything is there. Now, there is no automated process to do things like collect story threads, build your outline, build your beat sheet, that sort of thing. And for an existing product that you've already published, you probably don't need something like that, but you certainly can go through the books, build your story Bible out from the manuscript, that sort of thing. And if you are using the Claude integrations or any other AI assistant, they've got MCP tools that will help them read through the manuscript and do things like build out your story Bible, reverse engineer an outline, things like that, if that's something that you really want to have set up so that you've got continuity between projects. That is pretty much it for the import process. As always, you're going to find this and other tutorials and articles over here in the Help and Resources tab, and of course you can find them as well on plotfoundry.com/scribi/tutorials.